This is the Global Broadcasting Service, serving remote outposts since 1928.
Hi, everyone. Welcome aboard the Walt Disney World Express monorail.
Caramba, we have something really big for you today.
Welcome, foolish mortals.
Now then, hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
This is the DBC Pod with Phil Schoen and Jason Dodge. Hey everybody, welcome to this week's pod and Happy New Year. First show of the year. If you like round numbers, last week was your show because this is episode 91 of this show. Not counting any of the special stuff that we've done. This is going to be a very simple, unimaginative show, much like everybody else. We're going to do our year in review and year to come predictions type of thing. So you just get our very special hot takes for this, and our own creative spin on things. However, before we start, we're going to actually go over the DCI, just kind of give you like a review, like we normally do with a couple clips. So, as of Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve last year, we were at 38%, and just recently
48.8%.
40%, excuse me, and we just hit 78%. The 30, it came to my mind because that's how much we've improved over the year. Right. Hopefully, Matt does his own year in review episode somewhere, or he'll post something somewhere. But big things to come. I think, part of the DCI is one of my questions, so I'm not gonna go for it. So the framing of the show is first we're going to go over, and we're just putting the DCI to bed because we're going to talk about that a bit later. We're going to go over the 2021 predictions and see how bad or close we were on some of these things. And then we're going to do what we did last year. We're going to ask each other questions about 2021 to come. We're going to take our best guesses, and then we'll put it in the vault. And in a year from now,
we see how wrong we were then.
Exactly. How if we were worse off or better off this year. I think I've asked some interesting questions. Okay, so in any case, in 2021, we sat here, we asked each other, which will be the first ride taken down for extended maintenance in 2021. And both of us were wrong because nothing came down for extended maintenance. And you guessed Big Thunder, I guessed Carousel of Progress, and I think the first one for major renovations is Expedition Everest, which is in a month from now.
I think we were both thinking both of those were hopefully going to get an update for the 50th, and then obviously those didn't happen. So nothing happened. We had a good thought process. It just did not materialize.
Nothing. Yeah, I think they just kept everything open because they weren't spending any money on some major.
And some of the new things didn't open that they thought, like obviously.
Right.
So they couldn't take stuff down.
That's it. So the next question is a fun one. It's one, will the dining plan come back? And I think people just stopped asking at this point. No one cares anymore because we both said quarter 3 and 4 of this year, and we haven't even heard anything. Any whispers of the dining plan? Nothing.
No, I mean, there's still a number of restaurants not open, and then the ones that are open, they're not fully staffed and stuff like that. So I think that might be a question for upcoming.
Yes, potentially. And then this is, if the dining plan does come back, when will we see our first free dining offer? I think this is null and void. We assumed that it was coming back, and we would see a free dining offer. And basically, you said February, I said March of 2022. That's obviously not going to happen because we haven't seen any deals come back whatsoever. Right. Which will probably, I think I might be asking this similar question in different format later on. Is any of this surprise you so far that we haven't seen these things, or it's just kind of like that's? I
mean, I guess the way things have developed, it's not a surprise, but I still feel like the dining plan. I do actually still see people asking about it in Facebook groups and stuff like that really like it. And I know it makes them money, so kind of a little surprised we haven't heard more about that since we're creeping up towards full capacity. But I guess we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, we're basically at full capacity, like their standard time, like 90 plus. Yeah. Of their rooms, stuff like that. But, thinking back where we were a year ago, no vaccines, not knowing where things are going, and here we are in a different circumstance. So we won't mention that anymore. Okay, when will Epcot demo be complete? Will Epcot demo be completed in 2021? We both said yes to both of these. It will be, or at least partial construction will be done, and we were so wrong on this.
Yeah, well, I guess I don't know the definition of demolition. I guess everything's been knocked down.
That's true.
Town. But obviously there hasn't really been much construction done. I guess the store opened and stuff like that. But
I don't know the context of this one, so maybe I thought it was just taking down some of the buildings, that type of thing. Will we be above 50% capacity before the first day of Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party? We both said yes because we're geniuses on that one.
Yeah,
that happened way before that.
Yeah.
And most of those parties sold out, I believe, throughout the process there. Will the 50th be full go or delayed or at reduced capacity? And we both agreed that it would be a full slow buildup.
Mm-hmm.
Though I think we might be wrong because I don't even know what we're building up towards at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, we mentioned this. I mean, like, it's basically, you can't, I don't count Harmonious as part of the 50th, even though it opened for it because it was supposed to be open before. It wasn't part of the plans. None of the new attractions are open. You've got Enchantment, which is great. You got some golden statues, and most of it's just merch and like food.
Food, yeah.
So a little disappointed in that. Next question: first character meal to go back to normal. 2022. I'm trying to read this. How am I interpreting this answer? I wrote in 2022. You said that, and then Mickey's first, and I agreed with you. I guess you said something. Maybe something was first. Maybe it was like Chef Mickey's or something.
That's probably what we were thinking about. It would be Chef Mickey, but I guess nothing's fully normal yet, right? So
yeah, so we're still waiting on. That's going to be a while too, I think, before we get that. I meant to look up these numbers and I forgot to. We got to rank attendance 2019, 2020, 2021, as I guess a percentage of 2019.
Yeah.
What did we get? What was the attendance for 2021 compared to 2019? Did the numbers come out yet for last?
So I mean,
this year
we haven't seen like the official numbers come out. The last I've heard from some people with some inside knowledge is that they're running at about maxing out at about 80% capacity of normal capacity now.
So we were short on this.
Yeah, we said only 50-60%. It's definitely not saying they get there every day, but the max they can do is a little bit higher than that. So.
Yeah, so we said for 2022 it would be around 80%, and I think you're going to be above 90% of 2019 numbers this coming year. Which will have a greater pull, Ratatouille or Runaway Railway, with the longest wait times? We said both, but were we thinking Remy was going to come out sooner than the 50th, I think?
I mean, yeah, it was ready by like March, so it could have been open earlier. So we didn't think that was going to be part of the 50th, so it's a little hard to isolate the impact of Ratatouille.
And we didn't even guess that Ratatouille would be a boarding group anyway.
No.
Right? So it doesn't even have a line.
Yeah.
So that goes that question. Which one? I still think Mickey's has the better draw of overall attendance, right? And excitement. People still prefer Mickey's versus like Ratatouille.
I think so. Yeah, definitely the hype or like which one, like you said,
the buzz, whatever you want to call it.
Buzz is a little bit more about Mickey. I think people are more excited about that. They're kind of similar ride systems, and most people I think would say Mickey's is better. You kind of still have that split between maybe Mickey's and Slinky Dog for families at Hollywood Studios, and Ratatouille is kind of still the big new thing at Epcot, but I don't think the buzz is there for it like there was for.
I haven't heard anything about Ratatouille on Twitter, on Discord, anywhere. It's another ride to do at Epcot, but people still talk about Mickey's Runaway Railway as as part of their strategy of the day. Next question we had was rope drop must for Epcot, Frozen, or Ratatouille. We both said Ratatouille, obviously, but it's a boarding group kind of question, so it's kind of moot. Here's a question: Space 220 to open in 2021, first or second half? You said first half. And I laugh at you because I said second half.
Yeah, you got this one right.
I might have just said the opposite, just so to be a contrarian on this one. And I was cynical with this, and I was appropriately cynical because I assumed like they're just going to push this thing out. They're not even going to do anything, and that's basically what they did. I don't recall what everything was finished, right? For a while on there.
That's our understanding was that by like March it was either 100% done or like basically done, and then they delayed it to make it the big thing for the 50th, and then they ramped up staffing closer to that October and stuff like that. But it could have been open in like March if they wanted to.
So the next question is just kind of laughable. Was the Star Wars Hotel to be open in 2021? We both said yes, which might have been a good prediction. I mean, we're off by 3 months, right? But the cost of it, I was off by I was like 30% of the cost. I guessed $2,600. That was so wrong. You guessed 5,000, which is closer.
Closer, yeah.
Still under, I think, right? For the most, for like a family of four.
I think if like two people, it's like 4,800, but a family of four is like 6,000. So
yeah, so you're right there in the middle. Then we'll give you that one on the cost. I was living in. I'm like, there's no way it's going to be $6,000 for this nonsense, and it is. Here's another thing. Book of Boba, was it going to be a success compared to Mando? Blah, blah, blah. I would say we don't know if it's a success or not, right? Because we're on episode 2 in a couple days. But it had some pretty good reception. Is it going to have the impact of Mando season 2? I doubt it.
I don't feel there's the hype around it like there was for Mando.
No.
So, but I think it's like you said, well received for what it is.
I mean, it's a new story. It's a character that, is an old fan favorite, but we don't know much about him other than old comic books and stuff like that type of thing. So it'll be interesting where they take the story.
Yep.
Is it going to be fan service or is it going to be epic? The end of Mando season 2 is obviously an epic ending.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to top that, even with the additions of like Ahsoka and the mentioning of Thrawn and everybody else. I don't think they're going to get anywhere near that. Success of Raya the Last Dragon compared to other Disney successes. You said you compared it to Moana. I don't have an answer here for this one. I don't know why, but
fell short of Moana, I would say.
Definitely fell short. But like the buzz and enjoyment of everything, I think my kids never really wanted to watch it again. My daughter, at the age of about 3.5 to 3 3/4, was watching that like twice a day for a solid month. So she was a Moana fan, and my kids have been listening to the Encanto soundtrack all day.
I was going to say that I think Raya didn't seem to have much of a lasting impact, whereas if I'm comparing something to Moana, I think Encanto seems to have much more of a buzz, and the music is really kind of getting people and stuff like that. Not that everybody loves it, but I think it has much more of that hype around it, and I think it's going to have more lasting impact.
I have to say, though, listening to the soundtrack for a second time, or I watched the movie and then started listening to music because my kids were listening to it, I really liked the music the second time around. The first time I watched the movie, good music. Wasn't great music. Second listening, I was like, this is actually really great music. And the tunes are catchy. It's got good beats, good singing. I mean, I really dig it. Will we see Fast Passes in 2021? Free or paid? Let's see. You said we both mentioned Q3 for Fast Passes. We were both wrong. Paid in 2022. We were partially right there.
Yeah, well, it will be paid in 2022, but it was also paid in 2021 when it came back.
And we said the resort only. I don't know what we meant by that. I should probably have taken better notes. But maybe they were offered to resort guests only.
Something like that.
As a limited type of thing. Genie in 2021. I said no. You said yes, so you win with that one. Will the Magical Express come back? We both said yes, and we were both sorely disappointed with that. I think that was more like I hope and a prayer type of thing. Will we see more MD editions with the lack of magic bands? I don't know where that kind of question came from. Maybe with the idea of not giving out magic bands anymore.
Yeah, would they add more to the app that you can do more things with the app because you weren't giving out the free magic bands, which I guess they've sort of transitioned things over. Like you can unlock your doors and things like that using the app. But
the Genie Plus thing, I think you can kind of put the envelope around it. We said there was no difference. There really isn't no difference with or without the magic bands at this point, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a fair statement.
So those were our 2021 predictions. I think we did a pretty good job. I mean, we're like middle ground, right? We kind of got it, but we weren't perfect, but we weren't like completely nuts about it. Okay, let's take a pause right here, and then we'll get back to our 2022 predictions. All right, we're back. We had some technical difficulties, but just in time to come back for our 2022 predictions. So how do we want to do this, Phil? Do you want to go like back and forth? Because you've got 10 plus questions. I got 10 plus questions. How do you want to do it? What are you feeling?
I guess so. Like maybe I'll just ask you one, and then if you have other questions that are kind of related to what I ask, we can kind of keep it going that way.
Scratch them off that way. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. How about you go first?
All right. So the first one I have, it kind of plays off our topic of last week about Genie Plus. Mine is, what changes do you expect to happen to the Genie Plus system in 2022?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think we covered this last week, but in my predictions, I think.
Yeah, I feel like last week we were what we want to happen. This is what
yes.
will happen. Yeah.
I think by there'll be summer promotions offering Genie Plus as part of a package. There'll be that'll be like one of their primary, carrots to book,
right.
On property, that type of thing. Will it be discounted? I don't know. And I think some of the additions that you saw for like this last holiday week may not stick around, but I think they'll pull that card out of their pocket at different times of the year. Okay, so you got those recorded. What do you think?
So I think we will see a modify ability come. I know that's one thing that everyone's asking for. And I know that came at a later date for Fast Pass Plus, and I also think they will be playing around with maybe only having one paid separate one in each park type thing, and then obviously we'll see what happens when Guardian comes on and stuff like that. But yeah, so similar to what you were saying before.
Okay, so if you had to put a timeline on it, first half of the year, second half of the year for the modify button, what are you going to go with?
Yeah, probably right around the summer. So I'd say July, August timeframe. So
okay, yeah, right around the time frame. I was, you're going to start offering some stuff, and they're going to launch version 2 or update 1 or whatever they're going to call it. My first question to you is DCI related. It says, will the DCI hit 97% by the end of the year?
97. Oof.
I mean, pick 95%, 94%, mid to high 90s, almost back, fully back.
I'd say no. And I know that's a little pessimistic. I think there'll be enough things that don't come back to the same level they were before, whether it's that some of the meet and greets aren't fully, the same way and stuff like that. I think we'll hit 90, but I don't know if we'll get to 95.
Okay, that's interesting. Realistically speaking, I think I'm just going to have to agree with you on that one. Because we're going to get to a point where it's going to be at 90%, let's say. I'll write 90% to. I got to make sure you said 90%.
Yeah, so I definitely think it'll get to 90, whether it's 90, 92, 90, but I don't think it'll get above 95.
There's going to be a time where we're like, okay, what do we have to get back? I don't think we can ever get back to 100% the way Matt has it set up, right? There's too many things that are gone due to COVID that aren't coming back, so the pie is a little bit smaller. I don't know, and I don't know how he scores like all the Epcot new things and Guardians and all the other kind of stuff like that. Okay, let's put the follow up on this. When does it hit 90%? Give me a quarter.
Quarter 3, it hits 90%.
Q3. I think you're right with that. Probably right after the summer swing, everything is going to start getting better. All right, your question number 2.
Okay, so with annual passes, they're currently paused. I guess, when do you think they'll go back on sale, and do you think pausing them will happen again? Like, is this something that Disney's going to kind of do off and on, or was this more of a one-time thing?
Oh, that's a very good question. First, when do they come back? I suspect they'll come back sometime after spring break. I think they've got enough of a glut of people coming in, and when. What was the second part of the question again?
Do you think they'll get another pause again during the year?
I absolutely. I think they're going to start controlling the crowds with this as well. But again, I don't know what kind of sales are like for annual passes outside of Florida. Is it a lot, or they're like, okay, we've got too many now, let's just chill for a while? I suspect that answer's tied into some of the other questions I have when it comes to park reservations, park hopping, and all that kind of stuff. So I think they're going to keep that card in their pocket until further whatever. My next question to you is, what month will Guardians open?
I think it's right around Memorial Day. So I guess that's May.
I'm just writing Memorial Day down for you.
Yep.
I think that's about right, but I wouldn't be I would like to. If you asked me this 2 months ago, I would have said right around March, April timeframe.
Yeah, I think it's later.
That's clearly not going to happen at this point. I'm going to put it further out just to have a different answer. I'm going to go with kind of like the August, September timeframe, where maybe August it'll be like cast members and DVC invites kind of stuff, and then it's kind of slowly open to the public or something like that.
Okay, I could see that.
Yeah, so I'm going to put down August. You're up.
So I have 2 Animal Kingdom related ones, and I know one of the questions we got from Discord was, when will we admit that Animal Kingdom is the best park?
Never.
I said never.
It's not happening.
So we'll get that right. So I have 2 that maybe I'll ask back.
Wait, hold on. When Animal Kingdom builds Beastly Kingdom and a good dinosaur land, then it might be the best park. Then I'll admit. It's the most beautiful park, I'll say.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
just not the best park.
So by the end of the year, will we know what's going to be done with the plot of land where Primeval World was? So not that it's built or anything like that, but we'll know what's going to go there.
Because this is exactly my question.
Okay.
I have one down here, so I'll record the question because I have some follow-ups to it.
Okay.
Too. I'll answer this question. Will the replacement be announced? The answer is no.
Okay.
But it's did you think that will we know what's going there? What's your answer?
I think we'll know what's going there, but no work will start.
Okay. My follow-up to is, if you do know what kind of, will we know what kind of attraction? Like, they might now announce the replacement, like it's going to be a theme of something, but will we know what kind of attraction? Like dark ride, meet and greet, whatever.
Yeah, I think we'll know maybe not the full details of everything, but we'll know whether it's, like you said, a dark ride or a meet and greet or theater or something like that. We'll know, pretty solidly what's going to go there.
What do you think it's going to be? I have a couple, like dark ride, meet and greet. It's a food related replacement.
No, I think it'll be a dark ride or some sort of family friendly, maybe like a family friendly coaster or something, like, because you have the thrill ride and then you have kind of the really junior ride. So I think it'll be more of a family friend or everybody type ride.
Okay. I am going to say, I can't say it's a meet and greet because they've had meet and greets all over that part of the park already. I think, first of all, I don't think we're going to know.
Okay.
At all. If I had to guess, I would say dark ride. I doubt it's going to be something that interesting. I think they're going to play it out cheap, and it's just going to turn into like a rest and relaxation area with maybe like a food court. And right now it's stroller parking, right?
Yeah.
So I think they're going to keep it that way. And I think we might get an announcement, but we won't know what's going in there. They'll talk in like themes and feelings and abstracts, but we won't know what it is. Just because I don't think they want to commit to something right now.
I'm thinking maybe it could be like when you were saying like that rest area, maybe almost something similar to like the water Moana thing they're putting in Epcot. Yes. I could see something like that.
That's easy to do. It's cheap and it's just unfortunate.
But it's still kind of something new that people can do.
Yes. Here's a two-parter for you, Phil. And I think it's a relatively easy question, but the follow-up is an interesting one for a prediction.
Okay.
Will Tron open up in 2022?
No.
Will the railroad open in 2022?
I'm going to be brave and say yes. Because I think most of the work can get done on Tron, but they're going to hold the opening of it.
Yes, because they're stupid people. Yeah, I think the railroad's going to be open. It's been closed way too long.
Yeah.
And I think they know that. I think they'll be guilted into that. Like, why does Tron take longer than the Magic Kingdom to build? And those questions are going to be asked quite a bit. Okay, so your next question. What do you got?
Yeah, so my second Animal Kingdom question is, will evenings at Animal Kingdom return? And including that would be some sort of nighttime show.
No to the nighttime show this year, though I'm pretty sure ones will come back at a future date. I just don't think they're going to invest in that park right now. And they might extend hours, but if that happens, it won't be until the latter part of the year once Expedition Everest kind of comes up and running again, and they kind of see where the flow of traffic is across property. But I don't see any major additions or changes to Animal Kingdom in 2022.
Okay.
Lots of talk of future, but nothing imminent. What do you think?
I'm a little bit more optimistic. I think once they start, hopefully we're getting back more to normal. They'll want to get back to spreading out the people. And once they get staffing back and stuff like that. So I don't think it'll be anything like major, but I could see almost like a nighttime version of Kite Tales or something like that going in and keeping the park open. Because I know when we were there and we would stay late, they had a lot of, you get a lot of adult beverages, and the dining stays open later and stuff. And so maybe not the whole nighttime safari thing, but I think they'll get back to a bit of a nighttime feel in Animal Kingdom.
They should. I mean, it's
they definitely should.
park.
So maybe it's more of a wishful thinking, but
yeah. My next question for you is: will the redo of Splash Mountain into the Tiana theme, will that be canceled, forgotten, or reinforced in 2022?
Ooh.
When I mean forgotten, just like no one mentions it. Maybe it's they don't forget it, but it's kind of
okay.
It's kind of in the back.
No, I think of those options, I think it will be reinforced. We might not get any details, but it could be like didn't we get not too long ago kind of like one like, oh, here's another concept art or something like
a Disney Parks blog update sometime.
Yeah, I think there'll be something like that, and then it might be a little bit more of the details for Disneyland, because I think there's a chance it only gets done at Disneyland, but we'll see. But I think there's some mention of it this year.
No doubt about it. I agree with that. I like your caveat about Disneyland. I'm gonna put that in there. Disneyland with more information. All right. So your turn. I just knocked over my camera.
So this is more of a movies TV thing, but we had some Star Wars questions last time, but this one will go to Marvel. Which Marvel either movie or Disney Plus show do you think will be the one that gets like the most hype, most discussed, is like kind of the big Marvel thing? Kind of like how Spider-Man was for this year, I think.
Yeah.
What's the big thing going to be at the end of the year for 2022?
Okay. Remind me, what are the Star Wars shows coming out on D+? Because I know they get some of them got pushed out. Do you have a list somewhere?
Yeah, so the Marvel shows I know, and some of these, like you said, might get pushed back, but at least at one point we're talked about being for 2022. There's Moon Knight, She-Hulk, Miss Marvel, Echo, Ironheart, Spider-Man Freshman Year, I Am Groot, Marvel Zombies, What If Season 2, Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special, Secret Invasion, and Agatha House of Harkness.
None of that's going to get major hype.
Okay.
They're going to be like normal Marvel hype, but not exceeding normal Marvel hype.
Okay.
I still think at the end of the year, the only thing that's going to rival the excitement of like a Loki on like a weekly basis is probably She-Hulk, if I had to guess.
Okay.
Maybe Lady Ironheart if it's or Ironheart if it's interesting. But that could also fall flat on its face, too.
Yeah, I think Secret Invasion is going to be the big one, but I also think that's going to be a 2023. I don't think that's going to wind up coming out in 2023.
I think Star Wars have a bigger chance at overshadowing any MCU. Yeah. What's coming out next year? Because I might have 2022 and 2023 mixed up in my head.
For Star Wars?
Yeah.
Is
Ahsoka supposed to come out next year?
Yeah, so
is that 23?
I think Ahsoka's 22 and... Oh, no, Ahsoka's 23. I think there's... The Obi-Wan's, I think, going to be the big one in 22.
So I think Obi-Wan
there's also
break the internet.
Yeah, Andor, Cassian Andor, that one is coming out.
No one's going to care about that.
Bad Batch Season 2.
No one's going to care about that.
And then I guess theoretically Mando Season 3 might start.
Mando Season 3 could potentially be...
That's going to be like Boba Fett, though, where it's like the first episode's the end of December.
Well, we'll count it. But I mean, I think Mando has a chance to disappoint. Only because of where it left off. Like, where do they go next, right? Yeah. So it might be like it'll still be awesome, don't get me wrong, but I think it's going to be a slow build up to the next exciting storyline type of thing. It's, the Darksaber and that whole plot line that was kind of left undone. So that's probably the direction they're going to go. So, but nothing's going to top Baby Yoda and Luke Skywalker for now. But if they do, go for them. I can't predict that, though. Obi-Wan is going to basically break the internet, and that's going to get massive hype. And I'm looking forward to, especially some of the things that we saw. It's like, that looks rather badass, and I think it's going to be fun. Did you count just Disney Plus or Marvel? Or Marvel movies
and movies as well. If you think one of the movies will be the big thing, so movies, there's Morbius, Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness.
That's going to break the internet.
There's also Thor: Love and Thunder, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and then Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse Verse 2 Part 1.
That's the animation thing, right?
Yeah.
The cartoon, which was awesome, the first one.
Yeah.
Thor, I have to put it between Strange and Thor. And Thor
That's
only
definitely
because...
my thinking, yeah.
Thor's going to be awesome, right? I mean, Ragnarok is my favorite MCU movie, but it has nothing to do with the timeline. It's just awesome.
Yeah, just a couple little things, but yeah.
And I think that has a chance to being absolutely phenomenal movie, just kind of isolated in itself. I think Doctor Strange is going to do a lot for bringing the whole timeline forward again. That's the big one for this year that we're going to see. Where we're going to be for the next couple of years. That was a good one, Phil. Well done. Okay, so the next question is rather boring. Sorry for everybody out there. Will we get a new hotel announcement in 2022? Just the announcement, not breaking ground or anything else, just an announcement.
So that was one of my questions as well. So we doubled up on that one.
Okay.
And I said, will we hear of a new hotel project? And I said specifically if it's a replacement for Reflections or for the Epcot entrance.
Oh, so you think we're going to hear one of those?
Well, the question overall is, will we hear anything about a hotel? And then specifically, do you think it would be one of those two?
Okay, so do you think we'll hear anything?
I think we'll hear something, and I think it could be the Reflections replacement. I think we're going to hear a new DVC project.
Yes. That would be my guess. I don't think we're going to hear one.
Okay.
Unless some of the DVC properties start selling out again, because I know they've got Riviera all kind of lined up. They still got Copper Creek that's selling and stuff like that, I believe.
They're also buying back. They're trying to buy back points at other places and selling them at existing properties as well. So there's kind of a lot of inventory. But
we need to get Skier Pete back on here and talk about DVC because he's really plugged into it. I very rarely read our DVC channel on Discord because I'm not a DVC member. If I'll put a big caveat on this, yes, if by May of this year we start seeing an uptick on Riviera sales, we'll see a new because they're not building another regular hotel. It's going to be a DVC property anyway. Now, you think it's going to be the Reflections one? If they announce anything, or Reflections
I'm trying to decide if
it's
going to be whether they use that exact same spot or a different. It's going to be whatever the intention of Reflections is going to be.
They're going to use that piece of land. That's where it's going to go.
I think it'll either be there or else instead of Reflections, they're building it somewhere else, but it's going to be the replacement for Reflections.
Gotcha. It could happen. I'm going to say no only because they got so much other stuff they need to do. I don't think they're going to be concentrating on that. We'll see. What's your next question? Hopefully it's better than my last one.
I don't know.
Well, then again, that was your question too, so
I know.
I'm just doubting both of us there.
So I will say, when will Magic Band Plus actually come out? And will it be, for lack of a better term, I said, will it be worth it? And what I mean by that is, will they, like all the enhanced features and stuff like that, actually be like a big deal? Or will it be something that kind of nobody really, kind of more of a fad, like the glow with the show ears were and stuff like that?
Will we see it? Yes. Because the technology's there. It's Fitbit.
Well, it's definitely coming out this year. So I didn't know if, when was my question.
When?
Yeah.
Sorry, yes. I think we'll see it before the summer. Or it launches Memorial Day weekend or hereabouts or whatever, right? So I think we'll see that. But I could be wrong. I doubt it's going to be spring break time because they would have announced that already.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be part of a summer push. Maybe late summer push, I don't know. But let's call it summer 2022. What do you think?
I think that's a good pick, because like your point, if it was going to be out for spring break, we would have heard something by now. So I think it's summer at the earliest. It might be more fall, like maybe for Epcot's 40th or something like that. But
now, if you're going to ask me, is it going to be worth it? Absolutely not. There's nothing going to be special about this thing whatsoever, other than turning the key turnstiles different colors or playing sounds or what. Because there's no infrastructure in the parks that are going to make this.
Yeah, it's supposed to have like vibration and color change that'll go along with the shows and the parades that'll happen, and it's supposed to interact with the 50th statues, and it's supposed to unlock stuff in Galaxy's Edge. That's what they're talking about. So I don't know, will it be really a big deal, or is it kind of just going to be one of those little things that some people get into? Yeah, exactly.
For a vibrating Magic Band? I mean, like, what is it worth it to a hardcore Disney fan that has disposable income? They'll probably buy one.
Yeah.
But it's got to do more stuff. It's got to have like a Fitbit. Like, bare minimum, it needs to show how many steps you walked around the park, where you've been. Like, I want a printout of all the different rides I've been on, all the different places I walked past. Like, it's got to have metrics, right? It can't just be like a Magic Band but lights up and vibrates. It has to have.
Maybe I'll amend my question and say, will you buy one this year?
No, I won't.
No? Okay.
I won't, because by the time it comes out, I don't know when my next trip's going to be after that, right? True. If I had a trip in, let's say, October of 2022, and it came out in the summer, the only way I buy one is if it did more than just vibrate and glow. Right? If it had advanced metrics, I would buy it just for the numbers nut and me, like how many steps did I walk, how many attractions. Like if I can catalog, if I could create a trip report based on the data that I get from that, I would buy one, and it would be worth it for my family too, because I only need one for my family. Right? I think that would be pretty cool, and I would definitely pay the money for that. My next question to you, Phil, and myself: will there be a new Skyliner route announced this year?
I have that question as well.
So, we're very smart people.
So that was will there be an expansion of the Skyliner announced? And if so, where will it be? That's my question. So my quick answer is no. I don't think there will. I think one will come eventually, but I don't think we'll hear about it this year.
I think yes, only because they're going to need filler for like D23. So you know how like the whole Tiana thing was just kind of out of nowhere? They just kind of threw it out there to like make people happy. I think this will be one of those things. I think they know where they're going to expand it and when they're going to expand it. They're not going to put a deadline on it. It's just going to be like a panel somewhere saying these are like kind of like what you saw at D23 of like the different patterns. I think they'll do something like that. We are going to eventually connect Animal Kingdom Lodge with Animal Kingdom Park or something like that. Whatever that might be. That's definitely not going to be it. But I think they will announce it. Where, I don't know, and I'm not smart enough to guess what they think people will like. All right, so I guess you're up. What's your next question?
Will the Magical Express replacement, so Mears Connect and the Sunshine Flyer,
yes,
and maybe others, will they be successful? And part B, I guess, of this is: do you think minivans will return?
I don't think minivans will return because I don't think Chapek wants that infrastructure on the books, and I don't think it pays for it. I don't think anybody's going to want to pay for that service. I don't think it was overly popular last time. I mean, definitely people use it, but it was definitely double the price of an Uber, and people do that. So minivans, no, because I don't think they want a fleet of those cars. And didn't they sell them off? Didn't they show that they were like on lots somewhere? Being sold.
Supposedly they returned them or sold them back to the company Chevrolet.
There's absolutely no way that they're going to invest in the fleet of vans and then the maintenance and the upkeep and the infrastructure for all that. No way. Will the other two bus services be successful? No. However, I don't think they'll be a failure either. Right? I think they'll be just profitable enough that it'll pay for itself and make a couple bucks. But I don't think people are going to be like online forever with these bus services because there's people going to Disney World aren't going to know about this. They're going to search different options, Ubers, the town car services that you've looked at in the past.
Yeah.
Or other shuttle services, those type of things. And it's just going to be one of many different options that you can select, and they're all going to have to compete in that space. Because if it's not like we take care of everything for you once you sign up that package, there's better options out there than a bus.
Right.
And I think one of them announced it was like $15 a person, $10 a person, or something else like that. That's not the Mears one. That was
the Sunshine Flyer. It's like 17 for adults, 12 for kids.
Yeah, it was in the teens. It was under $20 a head, right? I think that's somewhat affordable for a one-way. I mean, it's under $100. That's definitely a little bit more expensive than an Uber, but it might be more convenient because it's a bus versus car with kids.
Yeah, having to worry about car seats and stuff. Yeah.
My next question to you, Phil, and this is a simple yes or no: will Bob Chapek be the CEO at the end of the year?
I had that one as well. That's fun.
And then I'll caveat this: if the answer is yes, he still will be. Will there be strong rumors that he's soon to be gone?
So I think that is my answer. I think he will definitely still be CEO by the end of the year, but there will be more, whether it's rumors, murmuring, push. So I guess I think he makes 2022. I don't know if he makes 2023. I don't know.
I say he makes it to 2023, but there might be some very much rumblings by the end of Q1 or something else like that, right?
Yeah.
Because that'll be halfway through their year at that point.
So I think we're similar on that one.
Yes. You have any more questions? I know we doubled up. I might have had two more than you.
A couple more.
Okay, go ahead.
So I have what will we know what's going to replace the NBA experience at Disney Springs, and if so,
interesting.
Any idea of what it will be, and then also will construction actually start, or just that an announcement is made?
Construction won't start. on anything. Is that building owned by Disney or the NBA? Who owns
It was
all that?
a
I know it's
joint
Disney
thing
property.
because it wasn't owned by Disney, but Disney like invested in it or had some deal with them because of with ESPN. They're kind of in with the NBA.
I think there's it really honestly it depends on where we are with the pandemic and everything else like that. If they're going to open up a new retail space or indoor space, that type of thing. Disney Springs is still extremely popular and busy. So it's something's going to go in there because there's too much foot traffic for something to stay empty like that. I think best case scenario, there's going to be a temporary like Halloween spirit store in there or something similar for Disney. That's going to go in.
So I'm pretty similar. I think we'll hear something going in. I could see some construction start. Not that it will be like significantly along, but maybe they'll start it. I don't know what it's going to be. I could see some sort of like indoor food courty type thing, but I don't know. I guess we'll see. But I think, like you said, Disney Springs is popular enough. There's enough people want to invest kind of in that space that something will come out.
Yep. And hopefully it's not something like I think everybody universally, when they heard that the NBA experience and what it was, $20 to get in or however much, $30 to get in, whatever it was knew it was going to be ultimate failure right off the bat.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody. So depending on who's smart enough to put something in there, we'll see. Here's kind of an ambiguous one. We're seeing. We talked about this about a month ago, maybe. We're seeing more and more chatter and praise and positivity about Universal. Epic Universe is 4 or 5 years away now, right? Clock is ticking on that one. There's major investment in their hotels and their services. Universal's really arming themselves to be potentially take very close to number 2 spot behind Walt Disney World. Will we see any major announcement that purposely, maybe not like this is our, this might not be obvious, but purposely to counteract Universal this year, even if it's on like competing on deals and whatnot, that type of thing?
No, I don't think so. I think Disney doesn't. I don't want to say they don't worry about them because obviously they care about them, their competition and stuff like that.
Galaxy's Edge was a response to Harry Potter.
In some ways, but I mean, I think they said that as soon as they bought Star Wars, the property, they were starting to think about it and stuff like that. So I don't know about that. I mean, everything's always a competition to some extent, but I don't think they're as worried about Universal as many of us think maybe they should be.
My answer is also no, but just because they don't have anything planned, not because that's not what they do. I think if we start seeing more buzz through the summer about Universal being more full and Disney not, whatever that looks out to be, you might start seeing some deals. Because I forget, it was one of the shows the last 2 weeks on Len and Jim's show on the Disney Dish, they were mentioning that Universal was doing some questionnaires for some of their guests, and some of them were directly and related to like the added value of a lot of Disney's things or lack of things that they've kind of put in. So I know Universal is going to go hard after Disney.
Oh yeah.
We'll see.
They're definitely going to position themselves no later than when Epic Universe opens, but like this is where your family can vacation for a week.
And I think they'd be smart to start kind of like ramping that up years in advance. So you can start Epic Universe, your first Epic Universe trip should not be your first trip to Universal. I think that's what they want to start promoting. Right. I think they want to start making it like my annual trip to Universal. I think they want to start getting that kind of in people's head, and then boom, bring them in with that new park. Because I was listening to a segment of the Diz Unplugged in the last couple of days, and they mentioned how they were aggressively going to go after creating content and going after the Universal segment as a travel agency and kind of planning those things. Okay, what is your next question?
So I think we got through all mine, but I have a few from the folks on Discord that I thought I could. So 2 of them we already sort of touched on. RPB asked about when will the railroad start taking passengers again. I think we both said by the end of the year. Probably, Q4 or something like that. And then Here for the Churros asked about the dining plan, if we think it'll come back in 2022. And if
that was my next question.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Good. No, that's good. Everybody's thinking about it. Will there be a dining plan in 2022? I think that's a big giant TBD. I think, if anything, it'll be Q4 next year.
Yeah. They said, or if not, will it be announced for a 2023 restart? I think that would probably be my pick. Is that they announce like starting January 1st or something like that. January 21st, 2023, it'll be in effect. The other questions they had was, or did you have another question? Sorry.
I was just going to say, I think I will amend my answer that we'll hear of something of the dining plan in Q4 of this year.
Okay. RPB also asked, will we hear anything more about Woody's Barbecue Roundup, the restaurant in Toy Story Land, and will it open by the end of the year?
No and no. We might hear something. Yes, I think we might hear something. Will it open? No, unless all the restaurants go to full capacity, relatively in the next 6 months. Then they might start pushing forward on that. I don't even know if there's been any extra work on that.
Yeah, we haven't really seen much because the box, like the show building, whatever you want to call it, is sort of complete, but we have no idea if anything's going on inside, but I don't think so.
It could be fully completed inside. We have no idea.
No idea, yeah.
But I think leaks would have gotten out if it was actually.
I think so. So I also think it will not open, but I think we will start seeing active work and maybe some leaks and some kind of previews of it or something like that. But I don't think it opens until 2020.
It totally depends on the state of the rest of the restaurant, of the restaurants out there.
Yep.
I'm gonna do a couple quick hitters here, full, and then we're gonna wrap up our 2022 prediction show. Which quarter will we see discounts return, and in what form? Just standard room discounts with tickets, dining plan type stuff, or Genie Plus packages?
So, yeah, it's hard to say anything about the dining plan since we don't know about that. I think we're going to see packages, things like Genie Plus included. I do think we'll get some room-only discounts as well, like we always do. Maybe it'll be fairly limited.
Okay.
And I think it'll be for the summer. I think there'll be promotions this summer because I think by then they'll be more fully open, and I don't think they'll be having the bookings they want for the summer.
I mean, summer's always slow, and it's been getting slower, so we'll see how things are. I totally agree with you. I think it's going to be the Genie Plus type of thing. I think they're letting Genie Plus kind of stew a little bit, see how people react to it. They're going to tweak it, and then once they get the bugs worked out, they're going to kind of tweak it to get guest satisfaction up on it, because obviously the satisfactions are a little bit low. Let's see them kind of creep up, and then once it's in a good state, they're going to start offering it for quote unquote free if you stay on property. So they're going to give. This is great because they're going to offer you not a room discount, but something that costs you $70 a day for your whole family, which actually might not be a bad deal, to be honest with you, compared to a room discount, unless you're staying at a deluxe. So something that we can crank the math out about when it's finally put.
Which of course we will get the spreadsheets going.
Of course.
Which
absolutely.
is better.
Phil, I'm not even going to answer this one because I don't even know, because I haven't been there. So give me a percentage of Epcot's completeness by the end of 2022.
Ooh. So I guess the big
what's
thing there,
planned, not what's removed and they canceled, but what they're doing right now.
So I think by the end of 22, most of what's under construction will actually be done, which means the kind of the central area, the kind of the new Starbucks, the water feature with Moana, Guardians, and then I think they're going to put in some food booths and like a beer garden area and stuff like that. So I think that will all be done by the end of the year, if not by October 1st.
Okay.
But I don't think anything new, because I still think, at some point they're going to have to redo, do some updates to Spaceship Earth and stuff like that. None of that will get started. So I think they'll kind of just patch up what's kind of already ongoing, put in some food booths. And so I think it'll look pretty by the end of the year, or look not like not a construction site by the end of the year, but there will still be sort of phase 2 will have to be done at some point.
Yeah, I generally agreed with you. I just spelled generally wrong on my computer, but it's fine. We'll leave it. Next quick hitter is, will there be a new showcase announced, World Showcase announced? New country?
No.
In 2022? No,
I don't think so
either. No. Two big ones. Will the park reservations be eliminated in 2022? And will the hopper restrictions be eliminated in 2022?
So, no. I think park reservations will still be around.
Yep.
And as long as they're around, I think their hopper restrictions will still be. I think they might move it earlier, so make it like noon instead of 2 or something like that. I hope they get rid of it because there's really to make people scan in just to turn around to go to another park is kind of dumb. But I think they'll keep it.
Yeah, I think park reservations are here to stay forever. Those are never going away. I think the hopper restrictions either depending on a lot of different things, but I think there's a good chance that the restrictions will be eliminated, or you can modify them or something. They don't really make sense as they are right now. It depends how things go, but I think they'll be eliminated. Well, see, this is not a very good question. I was going to ask this a little bit earlier. Assuming the numbers are released, how much of 2022's attendance, what percentage of 2019's attendance will 2022? Will it even exceed 2019's attendance?
Oh.
So, like, let's say, 90% of 2019's attendance will be 2022. Is it 80%? Is it 110%? What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it'll hit it. I mean, maybe in like one park or something like that, it'll match it. Maybe Epcot with Guardians coming back or something like that.
Okay.
But I think overall it will be
Walt Disney World numbers.
Walt Disney World as a whole, I would say 85% of 2019.
85% is your prediction. And I will say we'll get probably 80 to 85 is a good number. Because I think if hopefully the pandemic starts subsiding, we get a little bit better. Cross your fingers, knock on wood, et cetera, et cetera. I think people have blown their travel budgets that they were for most of this year and into next year, and then normal vacationing habits kind of start up again, and people might be looking elsewhere. I think I will say this, totally not an answer to this question, but I think Disney will start feeling a little bit of their penny pinching detriments in their numbers starting at the end of next year or end of 2022, beginning of 2023. With their bookings will be soft because of it.
Yeah, I think their bookings could be soft. However, with everything they're doing, their per guest spending ratio might be higher.
It's always been trending higher.
Yeah, and I think they might be okay with that. But we'll see.
Sure. I mean, I'm just talking strictly on attendance.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, that'll do it for our 2022 show.
Right, well, two quick more from Discord. I want to ask if that's okay.
No, absolutely.
Okay, so one's pretty quick but I think it's a question a lot of people are wondering. Do we think Hoop-Dee-Doo review will come back, and if so,
Yes.
will it be a modified version?
Yes and yes. It definitely be modified because I think they want to get that back as soon as they can. Though I don't know when you will be able to do a song and dance kind of routine indoors again like that. Especially everybody eating and drinking and yelling and being drunk and merry. I think it's kind of tough to do. Will it come back? Yes. Will it come back modified? Absolutely. I hope there's a chance that it'll come back to full force by the end of the year. I'm predicting that that's 50-50, I think, at this point.
And the last question, which I think is a good one, maybe a good one to end on that Doxy asked, was when will traditional meet and greets return? When you can hug a character?
I think very soon. I think they'll be there by the summer. That's my guess. I mean, a lot has to do with all this things we don't like talking about, right? I mean, that's kind of tough. I mean, if you had asked me in October, I would say probably February, March of this year, but I don't think that's going to happen that early. But we'll see by the summer, hopefully. We'll see.
Yeah, I think summer's a good pick. I don't. It could be another one where maybe after spring break type thing, get through that and then go from there.
I mean, you'll probably still be masked, but I mean, outdoors and hugging a character potentially. I mean, I think that seems fairly. I don't know. Actually, I was going to say fairly safe to say, but nothing's fairly safe to say.
I know.
These days.
Nothing's safe. Exactly.
I caught myself there. We got any more?
Those were the last two.
Okay, so we had almost a perfectly 1 hour show, so we should be proud of ourselves, Phil. It did not go long. Everybody, I hope you enjoyed the show. Hopefully our predictions weren't too crazy. If you thought we're out of our minds, please let us know on social media. Where can they find us, Phil?
So that was one thing that we worked on. We now have commonality across all social media platforms. Yes. You can find us at the DBC Pod on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, everywhere. The DBC Pod.
Yes. The DBC channel on YouTube is not the Dirt Bike channel anymore. It's the DBC Pod. So find us there. Guys, we appreciate you watching and listening all throughout 2021. Hopefully you stick with us for 2022. And hope we keep you entertained still. So thanks for listening and watching. We'll catch you next time.
Take care, everyone.